Good morning. Good morning. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays, however you find your footing in this particular season. We're excited this morning. My grandfather had great theology. He would tell us how to determine if it was a good day. He said if you woke up in the morning, it was a good day. So it's a good day that we were able to wake up this morning. We have a surprise for you. You think that you're here because something that John is going to say to you. We're actually here now because there is a mother and father here. They have a star high school student who is a Heisman academic All-American. And he thinks that he's going to go to a big Ivy League school or Ole Miss, but he doesn't know that Oklahoma's about to offer him a scholarship this morning. So Sharesh and Mom, we're so happy to offer that scholarship. Grandmother, that's right, grandmother, that's right. Come on, one of two in the country. So we're so happy about that. I'm being comical about that, but I am, the letter is ready, Sharesh. Again, so happy to be here and so grateful that you've come. We invite you to relax. We invite you to come not only on a time like this, but this is the basketball arena. Many events are held here. We invite you to come. Community is in our middle name, and this is your community college. So we're so excited to have you here. Many great things are happening at Oklahoma Community College. I oftentimes say they're happening in spite of me, not because of me. I am privileged to greet you on behalf of the Board of Trustees, and we have a sprinkling of them that are here. I know our chair lady is here. I want her to stand as well. The Board of Trustees that are here, Mr. Williams, Ms. Jones, Reverend Brown, and Mr. McGlown, Reverend Pryor. Oh, we could have a board meeting this morning. Attorney Mitchell, wow. You know this is an illegal meeting, you're coming together like this. So we're so happy to have you here again to let this particular venue serve as the host for good news. In this day and age where there are so many negative things that may be happening with our world and even with this community, we're excited today for this to just serve as a venue to host good news. So I'm thankful and grateful to John and the Chamber for selecting this as the venue. Everybody could enjoy or everybody could benefit from some good news. One more thing before I give the invocation, I have a sprinkling of team members here. I see Stephen. If you're with the leadership team at Oklahoma Community College, I see Mr. Shaw, Chief of Staff. Would you stand at this time? Ms. Overton, okay. Ms. Jones, Ms. Clark, okay. So thank you so much, Mr. Hardy, and Merry Christmas. They're off, but they came back. I guess they're expecting a Christmas gift of some sort. Again, we certainly do invite you to come at any time. Football games, baseball games, programs. This is a great community college. It has been this way a long time because of the people like you that are in the audience and in the community, and you provide the support. And we hope that you will continue to support this school for years to come. Would you now join me in solidarity as we offer overtures of prayer? Our Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for life. We thank you for every person under the sound of my voice. We thank you for this time of the year. We thank you for the gifts and the talents, the opportunities, the challenges that you have given to all of us. We thank you for the persons that make up this community and beyond. We're just so grateful for all the things that you do for us. We come from different walks of life. We have different attitudes and personalities, but we come today in solidarity because we love this community. We thank you for affording us an opportunity to serve as witnesses for this good news. We pray for your blessings upon not only the good news, but the intent, the program, the business that we will set forth through this good news that we will announce today. We pray now for your grace. We pray, Father, that you protect us during this holiday season. We pray that you always give us a spirit of thankfulness because you are a good God. These and all blessings we ask in the name of your Son, we pray. Amen.
He just reminded me scholarship coming. I'm so excited. Dr. Towner, thank you so much for the welcome. I want to be very brief because I know we want to hear from John. What an exciting day for Clarksdale, Oklahoma County. It's a wonderful, wonderful day anytime a new business is coming to the area. We've been hearing about the potential for this for quite a while, and we're very excited about this. So on behalf of the business community and the Chamber of Commerce, thank you all so much for coming and representing and with this wonderful turnout here. Just a reminder to our new business, new entity that's coming to town, and to all of you, our Chamber of Commerce is going to be flourishing in 2019. There are going to be a lot of social things that we're going to do, a lot of volunteerism, a lot of new committees that we're going to be revitalizing. We're going to be taking a look at a lot of things. 2019 is going to be a great year. In this room is a good friend of mine from Greenwood. His name's Bill Crump, who encouraged me years ago to follow in his footsteps and to become a president of the Chamber of Commerce in Greenwood, Mississippi. And we revitalized that one. And we plan to do the same thing over here. We're really, really excited about the potential of this chamber and what can possibly happen here in Clarksdale and Coahoma County. So without further ado, the man of the hour, Mr. Jon Levingston, please.
Thank you, Suresh. Thank you, Dr. Towner, for being so gracious to allow us to come to your house today. This is a wonderful day. It's an exciting day. And we are excited about having Suresh Chawla as the new president of our Chamber of Commerce. So thank you, Suresh. So, Mr. Mayor, Board of City Commissioners, President of our Board of Supervisors, and members of the board, to all our statewide elected officials. I saw Senator Jackson here, Representative Orlando Payton I know is here, members of the Chamber Board who are here, Industrial Foundation Board, Economic Development Authority Board, and our friends in the community, region, and state who are with us today. I welcome you to this joyous occasion for Clarksdale and the North Delta. Before we make our announcement, I wish to share with you a couple of thoughts about economic development. Now, I'm new at doing this professionally, a newbie, really. There may be many things about this profession I have yet to learn, but one thing I do know, and I want to share it with you now. It takes a whole community, region, and state to create economic development in a community. And I want to tell you that there could be no one anywhere who has received more support and cooperation at every level than I have in getting to this day. You need to know that your mayor and city board, your board of supervisors, and all the members of their respective staffs have cooperated in the greatest collaborative effort to bring about this wonderful economic opportunity we celebrate today. You need to know that our regional organizations, such as Delta Council, through their Delta Strong program and their director, Mike Filpo, who's here with us today, have generously lent their support, advice, and talent. The workforce development team from the South Delta Planning District, including their leader, Mitzi Woods, who is also with us today, and it's her birthday today, along with our community college's Skill Tech Center, led by our own Stephen Jossell, along with Angela Pitts of the Wynn Job Center, have been essential to the development of this project and will be critical to its future success. Likewise, there is no economic development project that succeeds in our area without the participation and guidance of James Curcio and Darrell Dixon and their staff at the North Delta Planning District. I wish to recognize members of the staff and faculty of Coahoma Community College who are here, Delta State University, and the University of Mississippi, who have met with us and the principals of our company multiple times, and who will become important partners in education and training that will benefit our company, those schools, and our community beyond just the immediate jobs we will announce today. I wish to thank Chris Caldwell of the Delta Regional Authority and his staff. We're proud to have that federal agency in our community, and we appreciate their participation in this project. And likewise, I wish to thank Governor Phil Bryant and his staff, as well as Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith and her staff for their support and advice. And Bill, thank you for being here representing her today. We are grateful to you. I want to also acknowledge the support of someone who is with us today, who I've gotten to know along the way in this journey, who I've come to admire and have a great deal of respect for. And that is the mother of Suresh and Dinesh Chawla, Chandra Chawla, who's with us. Chandra, thank you for joining us. You remind me of all mothers who are proud of their children and their accomplishments, and I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. I want to acknowledge, as always, my predecessor, Ron Hudson, whose demeanor, advice, and counsel are the marks of a true gentleman. Finally, I want to thank the many lay leaders of this community who participated in multiple meetings and discussions, who lent their support and their money that we might arrive at this day. Even at the risk of leaving somebody out, I've got to mention several people, and I wish you would thank them when you see them. Many of them are here today, including Jimmy Walker Sr. and Jr., Fred Cohen, Ted Connell, Paul Watts and his staff, Diane Mitchell, Rose Lockett, Terry Dulaney, Mike and Maggie Tyner, Skip and Gwen Graber, Jack Bobo and his staff, Keith Phelps and his staff. And I want you to know I'm particularly grateful to Ed Peacock and to Pete Johnson. Finally, I want to take a point of privilege to tip my hat and say thank you especially to one individual who has been critical not only in this endeavor but in every endeavor in regard to economic development here, and that's Hartley Kittle. Hartley spent the last 20 years working behind the scenes to make economic development happen in this community. Most people will never know what he has done, the time he has sacrificed, or the calls he has suffered from me this year, or the sheer effort he has put in. So Hartley, wherever you are here, I don't see you, but wherever you are, I'm going to say to you, Merry Christmas and thank you. Thank you, Hartley. There you are. Thank you. When you see Hartley today, thank you. For so many years, there have been those who say the best days of the Delta are behind it. The future's bleak, crime is up, and we're depopulating. Our opportunities, educationally and financially, are diminishing. I say to those people, today we turn the tide. Today we announce a partnership with a Silicon Valley-based tech center that provides outsourced services to large global corporations such as Amazon, Vodafone, and Accenture. Today, we announced the location of a center in Clarksdale that plans to scale up to 200 jobs over the next 24 months. Today, we announce a company that will invest in Clarksdale because they believe in our community, our people, and our workers. These people are not naysayers. They're accomplished, proven, can-do executives. Today, we welcome to our community a company that believes in the development and education of their employees and embraces their corporate and social responsibility to our region and its people. This company began in India, and then it came to the United States. Here's their story.
PeopleShores is a technology and business process outsourcing enterprise that transforms the opportunity youth into knowledge professionals. These young adults are disconnected from education and employment, characterized with the problems of poverty, lack of family support system, and a deficiency in social skills. However, they possess enormous untapped talent and highly self-motivated. They seek to transcend past their barriers and seize an opportunity to get on a career that put them on to professional success. PeopleShores provide them with that chance.
Here at PeopleShores, it's given me hope that, I still have it within me to get back into the tech sector. And PeopleShores, they don't just want you, be able to learn all these things, but they want you to be able to stand on your own eventually.
Before PeopleShores, I was unemployed and I was struggling to find a job, which I did, but it was a minimum wage and it didn't really support my family. So one day I met somebody who's from an organization and they're partnered with PeopleShores, and he offered me the opportunity. So, here I am.
If I were not at PeopleShores, I'd probably still be working at a retirement home washing dishes. PeopleShores has been really good to me in enhancing all the skills that the tech sector has to offer, and I'm really glad to be a part of it.
At PeopleShores, we're highly committed to impact sourcing.
Our aim is to empower these young adults by providing them full-time employment and the required technical and non-technical skills for a successful career path.
And since I've been at PeopleShores, I've learned more about Excel and Adobe Captivate and Python.
My coworkers are really happy to work with health insurance quotation generation process and medical claim reconciliation.
We hire our candidates through our community partners such as Work to Future, Expandability, Street to Stability, Maitri, Silicon Valley Children's Fund, Opportunity Youth, Catholic Charities, and many more. Supported by a strong leadership team, our ambition for PeopleShores is to establish a dozen centers in different communities across several states in the United States. The targeted communities include military bases and decommissioned industrial towns, as well as Native American Indian reservations. PeopleShores is modeled around the success of Rural Shores, which was founded in India 9 years ago with the intent of creating employment opportunities for rural youth through IT and BPO services.
Life can throw some curveballs, and you never know when it's going to hit. And I don't know where I would be, what I would be doing. But I'm glad that this opportunity came, and I'm glad I jumped on the journey with PeopleShores, and it's a very exciting time for me.
I am PeopleShores.
I am PeopleShores.
I am PeopleShores.
We are PeopleShores. My friends, today we announce that PeopleShores will locate their second United States Center in Clarksdale, Mississippi. So just 2 weeks ago, I'll share this with you. A journey to India, in part to visit a rural shore center in Jaleswar, similar to what you just saw up here. When I was there, 115 employees were working on the morning shift on a contract for the large European telecom company Vodafone. Another dozen were training to fulfill a contract for the German company Bayer. The second shift began at 4:30. The Rural Shores Center, employing over 200 people, has made a tremendous financial impact on the city of Jaleswar. It is one of several centers located throughout India, and today, thanks to Murli Viaganti, who is the co-founder, they employ over 4,000 people. The co-founder of Rural Shores in India and the founder and the CEO of the US-based PeopleShores, Murli Viaganti, received his formal education from the MIT of India, the Indian Institute of Technology. Murli began his professional career in the United States with electronic data systems founded by Ross Perot. He was responsible and is well known for creating financial platforms for trading and risk management for the global investment community, and later headed up the Asia-Pacific division of EDS, covering China, Southeast Asia, and India. Following EDS's sale to Hewlett-Packard, Murli became a managing director of the tech firm Zansa India and an executive member of the group management board. He co-founded Rural Shores 10 years ago and created the U.S. version of the company PeopleShores, headquartered in San Jose, in 2017. In the months since I have met him, I have come to admire Murli's brilliance, perseverance, and absolute commitment to achieving his goals. He is one of the most humane and decent people I've ever met. In an effort to find a new industry for our community, I also found a friend. Please welcome the CEO of PeopleShores, Murli Viaganti.
Good morning. I'm very happy and very excited to be here. And it's really a truly auspicious occasion for all of us because we are here. The announcement has been made, and very soon we're going to start our journey in Clarksdale, Mississippi. Nearly about 7 years ago, when I went to visit one of the centers in Rural Shores centers in one of the villages, I met this one young lady. She probably in her early 20s. She was working at the center. She probably already completed about a year working at that center, and asked that lady, what changed for you? You know, what's the impact it created in your lives? And she made a statement saying that now I can choose my own husband. Rattled by that statement, I asked her, can you explain? What does it mean? She said about a year ago, before joining Rural Shores, she said she was being forced to marry a 60-year-old man. That's because her father took loan from this gentleman and not able to repay. So that old man have asked her father to give her instead in lieu of the repaying the loan. And father had no option but was forcing her to get married. In the meantime, she stumbled upon this opportunity to work at Rural Shores. She joined, she gained her voice, she got empowered, and with the money she saved in that 1 year, she said she could pay the loan with interest and get her father, freed of the debt. And now she said she can choose her own husband. That is a profounding. That stayed in my heart forever, Then a couple of years later, I visited another center with one of our clients, Vodafone, as you know, is one of the largest European firm. They were launching their service in that center, again a village in western part of the country. And I went there, and there were a lot of interactions, and they were curious about the lives and the impacts and all this center has been making. So she asked people to share their stories. Another young lady stood up and came and spoke about her experience. She said her father was diagnosed with some illness a couple of years ago, and they didn't have enough money to get him treated. The 3 years she working at PeopleShores, she saved enough money to get her father treated, and her father gained full health. That was really impactful. Closer to home, here in the US, in San Jose, where our first center was set up about a year ago, there's this young, one of the, probably you've seen her on the video, without mentioning the names, again, young lady, she was living in an abandoned RV under the flyover in the street of San Jose. And when she came to know, she walked into one of the local social agency for help. And they happened to be one of our community partners for that center. So they referred her to a center. We recruited her, we gave the training, and gave her the job. And so soon as she got the job, with her earning potential, she was qualified to move into a transit housing provided by the government. 6 months later, she could go on, sign her own lease agreement and have her own place to stay. That was the day she came with a lot of pride and, in fact, caused a celebration in our center. So and now she's going on to work on a project for Google, and she's so empowered and so happy. There are, as John mentioned, there are 4,000 rural youth employed at PeopleShores, and in San Jose, a couple of dozens of those young adults. Every one of them have a story to share. The ones I shared is only representative of the impact it's been creating in the lives of these people, these young adults. We believe in people. We believe in their aspirations. We believe in their talents. All that they need is an opportunity. What we are trying to do is create that opportunity. And these people grab that opportunity with both hands and give everything they have to prove themselves and succeed in their lives and stand on their own feet and celebrate their lives. Because of their commitment and dedication, the quality of work they deliver to our clients is much superior, much superior than the quality of work that is being delivered by the educated urban youth in India or the people who are employed at Google or any of those facilities in the Silicon Valley. That's because of their commitment and dedication. They're the ones who actually are the key to the success of the scale of the PeopleShores in India, and they will be the key to the success of the scaling of this PeopleShores initiative in the US. And the goal for Clarksdale, as John mentioned, is to scale to 200 people in next 24 months. We are hoping that it could be sooner than that, but we don't want to set the wrong expectations, right? We have been in discussions with many large global organizations for work for this center. They're willing to give work, but they want us to set up the center first, get the first batch of people trained. We are in the process of training the first batch of 20 people very soon, starting from January 15th. Thanks to the Chamber of Commerce, we got the building now, and also to the county, the Board of Supervisors and President Weil, that now we have a building that we can be leased out, and we're going to start our journey there and build the capacity there. That center, that building has capacity for more than 200. We're hoping that we will not stop at 200, right? That's our goal. And finally, I have a spiritual master back in India. And his mantra to me is only one, and also mantra to all his followers: love all, serve all. When you undertake an initiative selflessly and with compassion, that initiative is bound to succeed. There is no second way, second option. It's bound to succeed. That is based on that faith, that mantra started this journey 10 years ago and never looked back. So the Clarksdale is going to be as successful. I believe in the talent of the people here. They will, contrary to the beliefs of some of the people John and I met, will deliver high quality service. They give their best and prove that this center also will achieve similar success. Thank you all. And I'm also pleased to announce, also we have two of my colleagues here. Would you introduce them?
I will, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, Modi, we're honored to have two additional colleagues who are from around the world, actually. They're global citizens, and their accomplishments are extraordinary. So I'm going to introduce both of them and ask them to come up and say a few words, share a few thoughts with you, and we're privileged to have them. So the first gentleman I'm going to ask to speak is David Moxham. David Moxham is a founding director of PeopleShores, but more importantly, he is famous for having hired this man for EDS back in the day. And so David is a legend in the tech field, one of the first pioneers in that area, and really helped make EDS one of the most successful firms in the United States and globally. When EDS was sold to Hewlett-Packard, David formed a molecular engineering company called Authentics. You can Google this. This is really interesting for those of you who like to do this in the morning with your cup of coffee. Let me tell you, they developed a molecule that they can put into a barrel of oil to determine where that oil came from. And he was asked to do this by the United States government in the wake of 9/11 to find out where the funds were coming from to fund the terrorists. He's not only famous in the tech world, but also in the government world as well. When David sold Authentics to the Carlyle Group, he founded Malibu IQ, a very successful venture capital firm. He has been a driving force for many industries globally. He and Morley were also recently asked to speak at the Vatican about impact sourcing, which is what PeopleShores does. The Pope wanted them to teach the rest of Europe and the world about how to spend their money employing people like they are doing here in the Mississippi Delta. So we're going to hear from David Moxham, and also following David, and let me just say also with David, I've traveled with David to many of the corporate entities that Morley was referring to just a moment ago. When you hear David, you'll know that when he steps into a meeting like this, when he steps out, the people are saying, "Where do we sign?" So the other gentleman that we're going to ask to share some words is really one of the most accomplished minds in the Silicon Valley and one of the great inventors. Shiva Padibanda invented the circuitry that you enjoy every single day in your home. Do you ever turn on a television and you wonder why the cable box actually works when it does work? It's because that man invented the circuitry. His company was sold to Ericsson, and now he is an advisor to that company, but he is really, truly one of the most accomplished people, one of the most generous people, not only here in the United States, but also abroad, and we are proud and honored to have both of these men. So David and Shiva, if you'll come up and join us, please. Everybody, let's welcome them.
Good job, Raleigh. Well, good morning. Been pretty auspicious already so far. To start off, I got to say thanks to Dinesh and Praveen, without whom we wouldn't be here today. To be clear, I'm really thanking Praveen. She's been the catalyst between the community and the technical folks on our side. It's nice that she lets Dinesh tag along. He's always got a couple of good jokes and some funny stories to tell. But Praveen, thank you very much. She really has been the catalyst that's brought this whole room together. Not just the community, but the tech folks and all of you. So thank you very much. And we'll square up later, Dinesh, on that. Secondly, and by no means are these in any type of order, is Jon Levingston, whom you've just heard, and his wife Jennifer, who I saw here a little earlier. Morale and I have spent the last 20 years, as John said, internationally, and we've worked with a lot of state, government, federal, public, venture capitalists, private equity folks. We don't meet many Jon Levingstons. Jon is a true professional. We are lucky to have him helping us out, and you all are lucky to have him here in Clarksdale. These are 4 great citizens that you have in the community. We wouldn't be here. We think of them, we're all friends at this point, but we certainly wouldn't be here without them, so thank you, folks. Thanks, Jon, and thanks, Jennifer. As you've heard, the PeopleShores' vision is to create technology careers for young adults and returning veterans, who are usually between those ages of 18 to 26. We know, as you saw in some of the videos, we know that there are technical jobs for those skills, and we know that that work has been done, and we've proven that throughout our careers over the last 20 years, you can do that work anywhere in the world. So the trick here is simply to teach those technical skills, and we can create long-term careers for those people within our home at PeopleShores. That's what we do. Morale and I learned many years ago that to assist in an unserviced or a disadvantaged community, you have to make a measurable impact. It can't just be a newspaper story or an article. You got to have a measurable impact so that it's sustainable. And in order to have a sustainable impact, what we both learned differently throughout our careers was you have to create a job. If you don't create a job, you really don't make a measurable impact. I mean, there are other things you can do, but employment's got to be a big part of it. And no surprise, that's how we ended up working so closely with Jon. But that's what we do. We create tech careers, and we try to create employment. And if we don't do that, we fail in the mission, because if we're not creating jobs and employment, everything else, and I mean everything else, and all of you that are in the public work sector know this, if we're not creating employment, everything else in that community is simply harder to get accomplished. So that's what we do. We understand those challenges. We know you understand those challenges also. I'm sure we're going to see some of them, but we will get through it, just like we've done that in most of the other places in our careers. Morale didn't mention, he talks about 4,000 employees. He's actually trained and created careers for over 10,000 folks. Some of them grow up and they grow past rural shores. Some of them go off, he also started a skills academy. Some of them go bifurcate and they go and work in other areas. But 10,000 times he's done that, making that social impact on those individuals. That's a lot of, I'll leave the social impact side to the great videos and the stories you heard, but that's a lot of jobs and careers. That's a lot of employment. So he's tech-trained individuals. We've sourced that work from Fortune 500 companies. We've created long-term employments for these individuals over 10,000 times. And of course, he did that in rural India, as you saw, of all places to go do that, right? It's got to be, it's like, let's go play the best team in the worst place. So that's pretty accomplished. And that's not just passion. That's a skilled, caring man that likes to help underserviced communities. Thanks, Morale. As we heard about the new tech center in San Jose, what he didn't mention was the sad part of that story. With all that value creation going on right there in the middle of the valley, all that employment demand, they can't find enough people. All those great technology companies, billions of dollars of value being created, and right there in the backyard, there's 15,000 young adults that got left behind. And PeopleShores is helping out in the valley. Morale and I worked for 20 years together. Personally, as somebody mentioned, I started one of the very first social capital companies. We were successful in Uganda, in Cameroon, in Brazil, in Malaysia, in India. India, of course, Morale helped me out when we were over there getting that done. Even here in the U.S., there's some areas that we had to work. Ghana, Guyana, Mexico, all over the Philippines. So we've done this before. It sounds like the State Farm commercial. We've been here. We've done a few things. And we're looking forward to working with all of you. Quite honestly, there's always going to be bumps in the road, especially in the first It's like having a baby. The first 9 to 12 months are very critical now as we move forward. There are going to be bumps in the road, and there are going to be times when it's going to feel like it's not going to work. It's going to be hard work as we go through it, in addition to those challenges. That's okay. As Jon said earlier, it's a turning point. We're going forward from here. We know how to get these things done, and we are going to go get them done with your support. So I'm saying thanks in advance, and that means I expect you to assist when we call on you. We can be very tenacious about that. So we look forward to our future success and being active participants in your community. This is a beautiful area to be creating technology careers for young adults. Young adults can come here and have a tremendous quality of life. And we are really, really looking forward to doing that. Thank you. I'll turn it over. You're going to say a few words, Shiva? Thank you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Shiva Patibanda. I'm an investor and an advisor to PeopleShores. I thought I'd explain to you what PeopleShores actually means. Disconnected, disadvantaged youth or people to safe shores. A safe shore is where they can pursue a career. So our job in life is to identify communities and disadvantaged youth, find jobs, invite the high-tech companies to provide the jobs to these youth, but provide the necessary vocation so the youth can take the job and then have a life of their own. Our intention is not to give them the fish, but to help them how to fish, okay? So back to this. So that is all about PeopleShores. Personally, I've benefited a lot by coming to the United States. It's time for me to give back something to the community that helped me so much. So a little about me. It's very important for me to be standing in front of you today. And I will explain to you why. So back in 1982, I was 22 years old. I came to LSU, not so far from here. Right? Still in the South. I pursued a master's in computer science. And right after that, went to California to work there. In 1985, I saw a documentary of a very young man called Emmett Till. That particular documentary shook the insides of me and completely destroyed something very fundamental in me. After I saw that, I couldn't sleep in the night. I'm a person of color. I identify with the whites, I identify with the blacks. I mourn both sides, and I celebrate both sides. So for me, I don't know which side I stand by when something happens. Something about Emmett Till completely shook the insides of me, and I promised myself, I will never come to Mississippi ever again in my life. That was the coward in me. The coward in me was so scared and shaken by what happened. So, and I stood true to my cowardice and to my commitment that I will not come to the South again, although I had benefited from going to LSU. I got jobs in Monroe, Louisiana, some executive senior jobs. In Monroe, Louisiana, I passed on it. Executive jobs in Huntsville, Alabama, I passed on it because of what happened to Emmett Till. For me, that is very fundamental. It frightens me. But something happened this year. In June, my buddy Jon showed up in the Silicon Valley, Jon Levingston. And he opened his speech by saying, we in the Mississippi Delta are paying for the crimes of our ancestors. When he said that, something in me began to heal. I told you I identify with both sides because I'm somewhere in between. So when he said that, the coward in me got chased out. And I began to listen to him, and I began to understand that, look, since the times of Emmett Till, which is 1955, a lot has happened in America. The civil rights movement happened. A lot has happened. The greatest athletes were born out of the African American community. There are no better athletes on earth. The greatest actors, greatest comedians, the greatest presidents also showed up. So guys, you don't fool me. In your community right here, in Mississippi, there are a lot of greats. All we need to do is a little extra in the community, and we will see extraordinary things happening here, right here in Mississippi. So one way to do this is for me to sit there like a coward and say, I never come. And here I am talking to you. I'm delighted to see all the leaders here, from both sides of the spectrum. I'm delighted you're all here. Our hope is that we provide, you see, instead of sitting there and being a coward like I was and not facing the facts, I could come here and spread love and affection to both sides, to all sides. Best way of healing is through love. Love sees no vengeance. Love doesn't expect any reward. It's a reward in itself. So if we love all and serve all in the community, I'm hoping that over the next several years, we will heal and become one strong community. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening.
Thank you, David and Shiva, for those powerful talks. The impact we talked about that's creating this initiative on the individuals that we employ, on their families, and their communities at large is one thing, but the real impact is actually happening on the self. What the kind of transformation we are going through these journeys, the 10 years that while I was working on Rural Shores initiative, going to the centers, meeting the people, talking to them, and learning from their experiences, and feel always blessed, how blessed I am. And every moment of these last 10 years helped me develop to be a better person, a better human being. So that impact, to me, is the most important aspect. So it's not just like, as you heard Shiva, the impact that he has, that created PeopleShores, since he has been associated with the PeopleShores in the last couple of months, almost a year now. It himself, through that coverdness from him, and brought him to be, here, to be in front of you. So these are the kind of transformational journeys the leadership team going through, and every one of us is going through. That, to me, a real impact. So that's one. Second point I want to make is, those centers in the rural communities in India and the one in San Jose been succeeding because of the support we have been receiving from the entire communities. Without the community's participation and have a sense of ownership, the success will be difficult. So the Clarksdale Center belongs to all of you, to all of us. The success of this center is on the shoulder of all of us. And we will work together to make this center hugely successful and build this as a model center for the rural communities within the US. And I have a pleasant announcement to make as well. We have our first recruit today here, that is Ashley Bowen. Ashley has been referred to us by a professor from the University of Mississippi, and she belongs to a place which is 20 miles from here, and she had a degree from a college, then moved to Chicago, worked there a couple of years, but her heart was actually here. Her mind and body may be there, but the spirit is here. So that spirit pulled her back to come to the community. And last week, she visited our San Jose Center to get oriented about PeopleShores. And one of the statements she made was that many of the educated people in this community, once they graduate, they go out seeking for jobs and all. Many of them don't end up staying back in the community and see how they can help the community. And she said she wanted to come back and help the community in a virtual way. not knowing exactly how she's going to do, but she had the courage to leave Chicago and come back and be here with her parents, and also started going to the college, University of Mississippi, and doing her master's degree now. And she's going to be joining as assistant center manager, responsible for basically driving this center, the growth of this center, the scale of this center, and success. I request Ashley to come over here and share a few words with us.
Thank you. I just want to say that I feel incredibly lucky to be a part of PeopleShores now, and I feel like the Mississippi Delta, Clarksdale, and the rest of the Delta is also really lucky that we have so many people who see the potential in this region and are just as excited as I am and as all of us are to see, just whatever direction, all of the vision that we have, the passion that we have for where we live, the connection that we feel for this area, the history that is here, all of that is all kind of wrapped up in who we are. And I think that if we take that, we take the interest of other people, we can just do so much. And I'm really, really excited to be a part of that. And I'm excited to see the transformation in Clarksdale and the rest of Mississippi after, I guess, the next 2 years. So thank you, and thank you, Murli and Jon and everyone else.
Thank you.
Finally, I just don't want to end this without expressing my gratitude to the people who actually brought us here to Clarksdale, starting with a good friend, Abhishek Goel. Abhishek, you can stand up for a minute. He's based out of Dallas. He actually drove from Dallas to be here today. He's the one came to know about PeopleShores. He came and spent some time at San Jose Center, and then he got so impressed with what we are doing there, and eventually he ended up meeting with Parveen and told Parveen about PeopleShores. So he's the man who's the culprit for us to be here today. Wanted to recognize Abhishek. Thank you, Abhishek. And then one thing led to other. Then we met Abhishek, connected us with Parveen, and Parveen dragged Dinesh into it, and then they both dragged Jon into it, and now we are here. And then, of course, we met a lot of our partners here. We have Delta State University, University of Mississippi, and Community College here, Mr. Val and his team, Steven and others, and most importantly, Midgie Woods. So we built already that relationship and the partnerships here. So a lot of groundwork has been done the last 6 months, and we are excited and looking forward to starting our journey here. Thank you all once again.
I'm going to ask the mayor and Paul Pearson, the president of the Board of Supervisors, to come up. They have a presentation and a couple of words to share. So, Mr. Mayor.
Jon, thank you. I want to first say that without our House and Senate members, we have a very tough time in Jackson. We recognize too, but if you could help me make welcome Representative Burnett, Cedric Burnett, who's in the back of the room, help me make him welcome, please. Yes, I want to share this with you, just a brief thought before we present the key to the city, and I think it's very not only symbolic, but you hear the testimony of words about the hearts of people, and that's very important to know. But I would like to tell you that it's very interesting to hear from, friends that you talk to over the years, like the Charla family, and hear the story on how this evolved today. And I think it's very important, Morley, to know that when we get to these points, these things are written. This path that we're on and this journey that we're taking together of healing and coming together is an important path, and I think it's an overall mission that God has us on. And I just want to give you something, a thought in your minds to just think about. All of us have been able to learn how to ride a bike, right? Have we all ridden a bike? Okay. Do you remember when you first started out? You couldn't do it? You wobbled, you were insecure, you failed several times, and your parents watched you, and all of a sudden, you began to find that rhythm, and then next thing you know, your mother or your father pushed you, and you were off. That's like where Clarksdale is right now. We're off. We're off to the races. I can't believe that we have this healing process that occurred. The city and the county, they're working together. All of us are coming together to make this happen. Paul Pearson is working with the mayor, and we're doing it together. So we found our rhythm. So as we get ready to move forward into 2019, I want to tell you that we've sowed some magnificent seeds out here. I mean, there's a lot of seeds that we sowed in 18. And you're going to hear, this is just one of so many announcements that are coming. And I just believe that this is our season, this is our time, and this is our moment. And I hope that as Morley comes forward with his team, we continue to celebrate and we move Clarksdale forward. So guys, congratulations. We've done it together, and I think it's going to be an amazing 2019. John, if you would come forward as well to help present the key to the city, and the Supervisor Paul Pearson and Morley and your team. And guys, I just want to share with you that having the right people at the table is so important. Jon Levingston, I asked him before he took the job, I said, are you willing to fly out at a moment's notice to make things happen for Coahoma County? And he said, I'm going to do it. And guess what? He's done it every single time. So if the commissioners of the city of Clarksdale, if you would come forward, Commissioner Bo Plunk, Commissioner Willie Turner, Commissioner Ken Murphy, and Commissioner Ed Seals, if you all would come forward, please, to join us. Yeah. We may need to step in front of the podium. I think let's the podium. Let's step in front of the podium. Yeah, can we have the Board of Supervisors come forward?
So I think you know this gentleman right here who's going to speak. He's, along with the mayor, my great partner in economic development here, our president of our Board of Supervisors, Paul Pearson. Paul.
All right. Thank y'all. Well, I got my board members up here. I got Pat Davis, Darrell Washington, Johnny Newsom. They're my partners in crime. Yeah. I know John has been thanked and thanked, but I can't tell you, I think everybody knows how hard John has worked on this. He's done a wonderful job, and he took a casual conversation and turned it all into this, which is absolutely amazing. But he never quit, he never gave up. He comes by my shop every day. He comes by every morning and visits with me, gives me updates and visits with me. He missed a couple of days. I got concerned. I called Scotty Meredith, but everything was okay. He just happened to be a little under the weather. But he's worked very hard, and he's working very hard on something else too. And me and John went to Rouville about a month back, and we visited with a man named Billy Barlow. And he had worked very, very hard to save the Rouville Hospital. And he told us he'd worked so hard at it that he'd ridden the helicopter twice. So with John working so hard, I put the Pafford helicopter on speed dial, but thank goodness we haven't had to have it. But bless his heart, he's worked so hard. But I just want to I appreciate so much for y'all coming here to Coahoma County. It means so much to everybody in this room. It's just awesome. I think y'all have exactly what Coahoma County needs to move forward. This is going to be a great asset to everybody concerned. I can't thank y'all enough. And I know I speak for the board, is if there's anything that we can do to assist y'all any further, don't hesitate to ask. we're here to help y'all, help us, and all of us work together and make this a perfect day. Thank you.
All right, well, so I want to share two final things with you, and your patience is really extraordinary. I couldn't sit still this long, so I'm really in awe of all of you. So I have to share with you my version of how this came about. So if you'll indulge me for just a moment, you heard David Moxham speak about how this happened. You heard Morley speak about how it happened. You heard Shiva talk. Now I'm going to tell you how it really happened. This is how it happened. This is how it started. I was lying in bed one night. It was January. It was a dark and stormy night. It's always a dark and stormy night, isn't it? This is a true story. And I was doing exactly what people are not supposed to be doing in bed before they go to sleep. I was looking at my telephone on Facebook, and I was trying to amuse myself at all the self-aggrandizing posts that people put up there. And, I was looking at this, and then I saw something that looked so incongruous. There on this post was Dinesh Chawla. And he said, I've been out to the Silicon Valley, and I'm thinking about bringing back some great high-tech company to the Mississippi Delta. Now, what's wrong with that picture? Nobody thinks about high-tech in the Mississippi Delta. We're a farming community after all. It just didn't look right to me. So I laughed and thought, that boy's lost his mind. I rolled over and went to sleep. Several months went by, and I happened to bump into Dinesh at the Grammy Museum in Cleveland for an event one evening. And there was Dinesh, and all by himself standing there. I mean, it was crazy. There were a lot of people in the room, but he was the only one. Standing there by himself, I walked up to him. And I said, just to try to make a little idle chit-chat, so what is it about this Silicon Valley company you were talking about that I saw? And his happy face became very serious. He said, no, I'm really serious about this. And so the economic developer in me asked, how many jobs? And he said, about 200. And I want to tell you, my antenna shot straight up, because that's a lot of jobs for Clarksdale. And I said, what do you need? And he said, well, we need a building. And I said, I can get you a building. No problem. That led to a lengthy lunch. That led to an invitation to me to join Dinesh and Parveen on a journey to San Jose to go meet these people in May of 2018. It was an extraordinary journey that led to this day. And I want to make very clear to everybody here that under no uncertain terms, we would not be here today, we would not be enjoying this celebratory moment, patting ourselves on the back and feeling awfully good about our future, which we do because of this, if it were not for Dinesh and Parveen Chawla. They make this day happen as much as and more than anybody else. So I want to say, from speaking on behalf of Clarksdale, the Economic Development Authority, the Chamber of Commerce, we all thank you both more than you can possibly know. You have helped transform our community, and you've given us hope, and there is no better gift than that. So thank you both. Finally, today, as we close our announcement, I've been asked by the PeopleShores team to share with you one other piece of specific significant news. PeopleShores, as you've heard, is a for-profit public benefits company. They're always mindful of the social as well as economic impact their centers have on the communities in which they're located. And they know, and we all know, our area of Mississippi has always suffered its share of divisions over politics, race, as well as economic disparity. Our history is well known to us and the world, and as leaders of our community, it is incumbent upon us to try to heal those divisions when and how we can. PeopleShores is mindful of this need and wishes to make its contribution to our healing process without judgment and only with a heart reflecting a generous spirit to all. "63 years ago, this past August 28th, the 14-year-old young man, Emmett Till, was murdered, lynched, near Money, Mississippi. The trial of his murderers in Sumner, not 25 miles from here, captured the attention of the world for its lack of justice in the face of racial prejudice, as well as the sheer brutality of those who committed this heinous act. But if we can say anything good came from such an act of inhumanity, it is that those events in the summer and fall of 1955 gave new energy and purpose to the U.S. Civil Rights Movement and helped bend the arc of history toward justice. The PeopleShores team has asked me to announce that the Clarksdale Center will be dedicated to the memory of Emmett Till. Their message is that the pain of one is the pain shared by us all, that we are no longer a people divided. Rather, we are one people striving for reconciliation, peace, and hope for our future. By dedicating the center to the memory of Emmett, we speak to our present and to our future for our children through the prism of our past, not to relive it, but to remember it, learn from it, and advance forward together to a better future for us all. In this season of lights and birth and hope, certainly healing and reconciliation are among the greatest gifts PeopleShores can give our community. So thank you. Thank you. And to you all I say, Sairam and Shanti, and to Sri Murli, Sri Shiva, and Sri David, we thank you for being with us. Thank you. And so let's all stay. Let's have some lunch and visit and show these gentlemen the type of Mississippi hospitality we are all so deservedly famous for. Okay? Thank y'all. Thank y'all very much.